What up, Mullins? Hey, what happens when you call off sick? Because there's not somebody else that can fill in for your job, right? What up, Trevor? How's the music level, boys? Nessie got me pretty worried when I tested 3 or 4 halves and they all vibed. Um, One way to ruin the holiday season if these are all bad. Take calls from the toilet, but if it was a court day, you're just SOL? Can't hear the music. That's probably on your end, man. I don't trust your technical difficulties. I turned it up, so let me know if it's too low. I'm sure the anodizer loves wrapping these. Just as much as I love having to hit them again with the acetone to get the masking off when there's some spots that get missed. I'll show you what that looks like if you're interested. So basically, sometimes I think he just dips them, and sometimes can you see that little white spot? It doesn't want to focus on that, does it? It wants to focus on my face. So right in there, that little white spot will come off. It's just masking. What do they use for masking? I don't know the actual chemical. There's a lot of basic masking agents you use for anodizing. Probably just get it from the spot they get the ano dye. Yeah, when I did the tie, I did the nail polish because it dries so quickly. But I've never done the aluminum to actually know the specific masking agent. I just think it's more common and they have a masking agent. Oh, hot dog. I forgot I ordered these. My goodness. Matt, you're always confused, my friend. I have not reached out to the customs batches. All I did was send all I did was post a list. Who's on the list? Doo -doo. He's at the top of the list, so it's subject to re-randomization. It's already been randomized, so that's not going to happen. So the list is in order. The list depends on how many of these prior batch are glitched to how many get pulled. The glitch is like a cheat code because I want customs to be such a good experience. If you get one that comes back as a glitch, you get the option to go right back into the next set. So that can delay going down the list. You don't get added back to the list if you get a glitch. You are in right into the next batch if you want in. Yeah, so the last batch, Trevor, what you're talking about is I added, it was just a, well, it didn't work out this way. The anodizer asked for work, like quick work, so I tried to fill in a quick batch of customs, and we did that, and then his plans changed and he didn't need that quick work. So then it kind of looked bad on me because I said, hey, this is a fast-moving project. He's going to do these like this week, and then it didn't turn out to be that way. Drop one of yours? Oh, you want it to be a glitch. Gotcha, yeah. I am, once I get the rest of these open, I'm going to go ahead and take a second to grab the link and post the link out here for the YouTube live stream. I'm going to work on the nebulas first. Alright, let me grab these. Is there still no music? I mean, it's going to put you guys to sleep. Come on, let me share this. I forgot. I did forget. We're live on the YouTubes right now with the Nessie 24. There's some. Where's the rest? There's the rest. There's the broken light, but we're live for a while. Best yo-yo of 2024. Definitely not that. Appreciate y'all going to the Yo-Yo Expert and plugging in some G Squared yo-yos for the best yo-yo 2024. Okay, here we go. Nothing more exciting than a bunch of pads going in a yo-yo. What came out in 2024? I mean, so the loadout, the Wraith. Did the Grunt come out in 2024? Um, hmm. Maybe the AL7 Arbiter XSS. Holy cow! I think I mentioned like the Patreon shipments for 2024 have been incredible. I'm trying to think what came out in 2024, but I mean, just there alone are some hitters. Oh, Instagram, you're so annoying. You have to have Instagram open until your story uploads. And they deliberately make it upload slowly, so you have to leave the app open. Let me think about 2024. I wonder. I don't even think I have the releases page updated for completely for G Squared Yo-Yos, but that's where I'm gonna go check. All right. Nope. Release is not what I wanted. I want actual yo-yos. Evolution. I don't think that's been out there long enough for people to know that. Um, Jackal. Council is really good. Another one that's probably not populated enough for people to know. But getting their loadout definitely. Slingshot. Wraith. AL7 Afterlife came out in March of 2024. So that's a good one. Grunt came out in February of 2024. SL1000 came out in 2023. So we've got the Grunt, AL7 Afterlife, Wraith, Slingshot, Loadout, Council, Jackal, Spartan Spins, Evolution, AL7 Arbiter X. I mean, I think that's a hard yo-yo to beat, in my opinion. I don't even have that on the release tab yet, so I do believe that was 2024, or on the yo-yos tab. I'm waiting for a new color to come in. Definitely a busy year, and hopefully this is what I can keep it looking like. Um, maybe a little bit more volume on some of those outlier yo-yos, because a lot of effort goes into the design stage, but then if not enough people get to try them, that's a tough one to. There's a little aspect of some people like having the exclusive release, but with the effort that goes into it, I'd like to have access to a few more people on all of them. I can't have them all like a loadout, but you know what I'm saying. I do think the evolution will get there. I think people are going to really like the evolution. I mean, people do. I think it's going to be a hit once more people get to try it. Nessie time. That's right. We're plowing through here. Pads. I mean, Wraith, Brass Wraith, AL7 Wraith, Psych. Yeah, Trevor, this is the. I mean, I used to document a lot of this grueling, tedious tasks. I kind of got out of doing the daily videos. That was another task that was pretty tough, and I think it got repetitive. Maybe for me, maybe not the viewer. I like to mix them in every now and then, but you can only show putting in pads in a yo-yo so many times, so many ways. But yeah, most people don't see this because most of your boutique, smaller shops, um, most of them will package it themselves, but they already come assembled, tested, and you put them in your retail packaging. Um, there's just a different level of QC that I appreciate doing this way myself. I feel like I've have more interest in it, and the anno options of I just like USA anno, whether the yo-yo is machined overseas or in the USA. I still prefer anodizing here. La da da da. Maybe I should put on a YouTube video. Should I be the small screen and we'll get a little YouTube video rolling here? You guys like watching golf? Should we watch some of my old videos? There's also a part of it like maybe the user doesn't even know, and as long as you QC it here, make sure it's smooth, um, and you can get away with all the not doing any of the tedious tasks. That's the smart part for a business to grow. Um, I don't know. What up, Phil? Make the YouTube video small. Let me see here. Web on YouTube. That's not what we want. Nope. That's what we want. But we want to switch these. Maybe I can just make a new one. I kind of think I should be the small guy. Then, like, how far back should we go? The best yo-yo display case. I should redo that video, huh? Let's see this. This says G2 Finances. Let's see what that had to say. This is 3 years ago. There'll be more grunts, yeah.
Good morning. It is
Oh, on the
beautiful day
golf
here, as you
course.
can tell, we're
Holy
out on the golf
cow,
course.
what a good
I have
life.
something else planned for you today, but I'm dropping Jonah off at the daycare, the babysitter, and he goes, Dad, can you take some videos of you golfing today so I can see him when you pick me up? Obviously, I'm not going to turn that down. So that's what we're doing right now. Let's get some golf footage.
Ooh, what a swing. Ooh, that was crisp. Just kidding. A little slow through that. Why is there two balls out there?
Okay.
Oh,
Okay.
I was playing with somebody else apparently.
Beautiful day. There's nothing else to say about it. Anyways, Eric wanted to know. Oh, Eric. No, it's like Ecom, but his name is Mike. Whatever his Facebook name is his name backwards. So Mike wanted to know about these guys and what type of yo-yo it's geared toward. He's had plastic yo-yos that were lighter that he got rid of because they didn't have enough spin time. So this is your 48-gram yo-yo. You probably haven't played one before. Maybe a responsive yo-yo that's very light. You have not played an unresponsive yo-yo like this. It's geared toward faster, agile play, but also it's geared toward just being so different. So still a full-size yo-yo, but being so much lighter, like 20% lighter. What is it like? So 65 grams is the normal, 12 grams less. I was told there would be no math, so more than that, like 25% lighter than your normal yo-yo. It's going to play so very different. Now, is this going to have as much spin time as the Banshee SS? And no, definitely not the Banshee Brass SS that I need to go do some testing on. We're going to drop those today. Quick little side note. Not today, Friday. Quick little side note. So we only have the two original Banshee SS brasses. Those went to Patreon. Extras went out to the world. So we've got another color here. After I test them, we'll see, because brass usually has issues. But we're going to drop them Friday because the other shipment of GBPs is actually coming on Monday now, not Friday. So I'm not worried about
Alright,
rushing
that's enough
to
of this
finish the
boring
GBPs and
content,
getting
huh?
them dropped. So all of your invoices for these will be later next week. So yes, brass Friday. We'll work on those. It doesn't, it's kind of a very unique yo-yo. And the fun, a little bit lighter, get some more density on that rim. Like as light as you can go on aluminum, yeah. And then it's got some stainless steel to give it a no problem. And it's going to be so much fun. And it's always going to have a space in your collection because it's so different than anything else. And you're going to have fun throwing it. I guess it sounded like I was trying to sell it there.
Oh,
But it wasn't.
definitely
They're
sounded
already
like it,
sold.
Jake. They're
So
already
that's
sold, yeah.
my thoughts on the GBP. Pierre's got a few questions as he
Oh, Pierre,
always
the Frenchman.
does.
He hasn't been around for a while.
Look, it's good. He's interested. I hope you're all interested.
Oh, look at all that hair I used to have.
To some of the trade the trade secrets, and maybe a little bit too. Just some things I'm not comfortable really diving into on the YouTubes, like talking about old anodizers and whatnot. So we're gonna skip that one, but let's talk about the question about, is the business doing as well as I wanted it to after quitting my job? While we're answering this, we're going to test the brass sheet, so you know the drill.
Oh, look, different color wall.
Wow, it's wild to go from the GBP to this. This thing, it's got some heft and some spin on it. Okay. Okay, 1 for 1. one for one. We'll do more at a later time. The business is doing well. G Squared, I cannot say is not doing well. It's doing great. Patreon is doing better than I could have expected. That is the, I think I've said it before. Like, that is the reason I was able to quit my job, knowing that those monthly shipments are going out. Eventually, I could see it almost getting to a point where if I can grow that. Right now, I don't have any slots open, and I won't for another couple months, because what I have allotted for April and May, I don't have enough yo-yos. I have the yo-yos already. I don't have enough yo-yos to add spots. After that, I can look into adding some more spots, and eventually we could turn into where I am doing
This is 3 years
a
ago.
yo-yo, but 4 colorways, and you guys
What up,
get
Brady?
your colorway or whatever for each month, and that is the main G Squared business, is just monthly shipments going out. I could see that happening, but that dedication from those fans to get a yo-yo every month and know that they're getting a yo-yo every month has been the biggest blessing for making G Squared work as a business, and like making it still work after I quit my job. It doesn't mean everybody else that's buying yo-yos from the store isn't as important, but they took some of the stress off that made it possible. Like, I know 40 yo-yos are getting shipped out.
I'm just trying to get that second Odyssey.
And I know 20 shirts,
Trevor,
separate, are getting shipped out every month right now. So that has done great, and I'm glad we've been able to really put some special stuff out there to those monthly subscriptions as a thank you for, hey, every month might not be your favorite shipment, but the next month or 2 months after, you're going to get something that goes, yes, this is why I stay subscribed. Hopefully every month you're happy with it. I think you are, but every few should stick out and be like, yes, I couldn't have got this otherwise, and this is why I'm here.
I think that definitely hit. 2024 has been all bangers.
I really like this colorway. We'll get you some pictures at a later time as well. So that part of the business is going great. We've run into some struggles on the supply chain, but that's kind of normal business. And I'll talk about the anodizers for you too, Pierre, and why we mostly have one. We have 2 right now doing splashes and artist stuff, and then we have 1 doing solids. So I have 2. I don't have all my eggs
What up, Blue?
in one basket. It might kind of look like that, but one's always slower. The other one that we've been talking about was not always slow like they are now. So I do need to kind of find a third one that's working, I think, as I continue to grow, and just to be able to always have a supply chain coming in. So I'm jumping around a little bit here. I think I kind of dodged that question from Pierre on, is the business...
Holy cow, this guy just talks and talks.
Like, am I happy with where it's at? And, I don't know if it's because it's talking about financial stuff. It's uncomfortable. I don't even know what taboo means, but it's taboo. Is that right? It feels weird because you guys, sure, in these videos, these vlogs, the content we do, you're not the customer.
This was 2 kid life.
Also, usually, if you enjoy this content, you're also a customer. And it's kind of weird to talk about money with the customer. When I talk about money with friends, see, even that, like, even in real life, it still feels weird. It feels off. It's uncomfortable for me. I'm just an uncomfortable person talking to people to begin with. You would never guess that now if you're only watching these vlogs. You watch the old videos, you'd know why. But financially, let's kind of talk about this a little bit, maybe. Am I where I want it to be? This year is doing good. 2021 is looking good. 2020 was not where I needed it to be if I was working solely on G2 for the whole year. 2021, it's hard to say. I'll know when I do the year totals, look at the taxes, and see what was actually made on the profit side of things, and then minus what I have to pay taxes on that, see where it's at. But right now, 2021 seems better. 2020, just looking at the numbers, wouldn't have made it, but 2020 wasn't a full year of needing to make it, right? So we've done a lot of the growth here at the end of 2020 and into 21. So hopefully that gives you a little bit of help without, like, I'm not going to say I need to make X amount from G Squared to make it work. I'm making enough to make G Squared work, do I need to start putting some effort into some other businesses? Not yet, which I thought I was going to have to and wanted to when I quit my job. I thought I was really going to have to push these other business ideas, and we haven't gotten to the point that I have to really dive into them.
Where's our Linkin Park piano?
There's really no better time than now to take your productivity to the next level. Grammarly is offering 50% off all Grammarly Pro plans for...
Thank you, Grammarly. I think I could hit some of those points kind of like it was, so that was from 3 years ago. Some of those points hold true still, and some of those points that I was talking about wanting. No, I haven't done any of the next steps yet. Some of the points that I was talking about, areas of growth, have been slow. And I think that I'm still talking about those areas of growth instead of finding a way to do it. So that was kind of like a little realization there that, hey, you got some work to do. You're kind of spinning your wheels and slowly moving forward, but not as quickly as I wanted to. So that was actually kind of a nice little reminder there, a little, hey, what are you doing, dude? Get rolling. Yeah, I don't know where else, actually what I was going to say. Does it sound any different than the voice in your head? I've watched so many videos editing that it doesn't really sound different. Crud. Thanks, Trevor. I appreciate that. Yeah, I try to be as transparent as you can be. I don't want to deceive anybody, but you also fudge can't. There's certain things you can't really disclose. Well, I mean you could, but it doesn't. I'm not comfortable doing it, and it doesn't quite make sense. Patreon 50-50 now. Let's see if I do 60 to 80. Yeah, it really is pretty close to 50-50. Yeah. All right, guys. You are live watching the fall of G2 yo-yos if these Nessies are all bad. Someone recently told me that they don't support G2 because I wasn't transparent, and I didn't get into them going back and forth. I thought that was interesting, though, that I think I'm really pretty much the most transparent out there with all the videos, and for them to say they don't support G2 because I'm not transparent enough was interesting. I mean, these aren't even really, like, close. These are all trash grades. How does Sea of Flames colorway go exactly? It's a black clear wash with like a orange red splash speckle combo. Oh, yeah, Trevor. I don't really. If you know who that person is and that conversation, I don't really want to um, dive into it too specifically. Like they have the right to their own thought and opinion. It just didn't really sit as like a valid criticism? I don't know. They didn't tell me specifically what I wasn't transparent about, but I don't know. I mean, if they want the name of my anodizer, I'm not going to give that out. I could, since I have a exclusivity contract with them, but hmm. Honestly, I don't really have a solution if these are all trash grades. Uh, it, I mean, because if they're trash grades, I don't even want them to go out. And to refund and cancel a run is pretty detrimental. But, I mean, at this point, it's kind of like, am I lucky if it's only one colorway that we're having issues with? But for not to have any smoothia is pretty terrifying. See, now this one I could send as a glitch. This one is close enough for a glitch. So 1 out of 12 is good enough for a glitch. 11 out of 12 have been trash. Not one A grade yet. Okay, so we got 2 here that have happened to be good enough for glitches. Oh gosh. Yeah, honestly, like measuring the bearing seat or anything's not valuable, um, unless it was majorly machined wrong. I don't. The other person is that didn't think I was transparent enough. Apparently, they have a business as well. I I don't really know about their business. Oh my goodness, please. Like since they've all been so bad, this one is the tiniest vibe. It's test. It's like it's tempting to just send it through as an A grade, but it's a glitch too. Like as I test more bad and bad parts, it's like when one's almost an A grade, it feels like an A grade. But I don't know if how that person does their business. If they're going to give you their raw material cost, how much they charge for their time, the exact tools they use, all the suppliers. Trash grade goes straight in the trash, Blue. I don't let anybody play the trash grades. Glitches are good enough that I'm fine with it being in the wild. Trash grade has enough vibe that I don't want somebody to play it and associate G2 with it. Um, the trash grade cutting boards I love and asked for more, but it just has come down to that person's busy. Because actually told him I wanted him to sell them to make the money from them. I didn't want to sell them, and he could have my trash grade. He has my trash grade parts for free, and it's just something cool for G2 fans. But it's just a time and effort thing. Phil, have you seen the ones that I had? They're pretty cool. Derek, I'm trying your yo-yo or your string right now. It's a little rougher. I haven't really put it to any string test, a loop test or any like slack test. I mean, I have other trash crates I can send you if you want to make some. I'm apparently about to have a ton of trash crates. Who needs an SC24 cutting board? Hmm. All right, shit. Let's try another colorway and see if they're bad too. Does a black clear wash work well with a variety of colors? Yeah, I think black clear wash as a base looks good with tons of options. Hey, um, Vibe. It's a yo-yo enhancement. I'll sell these. They were machined to Vibe. They were machined to play like 2012 yo-yos. They're not gonna be smooth. You know, the like I don't know, is it ironic? Um, I switched the machine shop, as all the orderers know, because I messaged everybody to see if they still wanted one when I switched the machine shop from the machining in the USA to overseas. Um, and I did that for safety for QC purposes, and now look. Oh my gosh. Good morning, Mr. Conley. Um, I mean, I use two strings, Derek. I use Diamond Blend and I use Alpha Blend when I don't have Diamond Blend, so I don't have a lot of experience with a lot of strings. But I'll mess with yours a little more. But unfortunately, now I'm not in a great mindset with these Nessie parts. Okay, these seats are tighter. Well, at least this one specifically. Way tighter. So, anodizing with the nebula wash could be the issue. Which is good and bad. I'd really like it to be isolated to one color. It's still bad having that result, but... the string. There we go. Got it. I mean, you don't have to feel bad for... Yes! Let's go. Alright, so I think it might be isolated to the nebula. The three-color wash could have causes issues in the tank. Alright. Heck yeah. Um, Crazy Heart? I mean, you don't have to feel bad. It's a pre-order. That was marketed. They were going to be machined in the States, and then like right before I was ordering them, I had issues with the Tsunami that was machined at the machine shop in the States. So I didn't want to commit the whole pre-order to that shop. So I switched it and gave everybody the chance to back out, which is you don't have to feel bad about that at all. That was your you're right. Clearly, it's something that you were going to purchase, and if something substantial like that changed, I don't feel like you should feel bad for canceling your order. If I didn't want you to cancel your order, I would have just ordered them and not given people the choice, said the update. But I think that you needed to have the chance to cancel based on the changes at hand. What up, Brian? Don't even say it. I'm not doing it. All right, we're not home free. The first two were smooth. That one was not. Got a little heavy on the black splash here, huh? Fantastic colorway, though. Listen, every time Brian shows up in the chat, I know what he's going to say. Do Mel hops, so I was just saving him the trouble. John, what do you mean bad, bad? The nebulas are all bad. I think anybody that pre-ordered a nebula might not have a Nessie 24, which sucks for them, and I will probably say sucks for me worse. Yeah, Brian, it's a thing to try and do, but I don't have man hours to do it, so it's finding somebody to do it, and then how much of them are you going to sell? It's just not a good business idea. Yeah, it's an unfortunate uh, part of business. Whip or not whip. The loop is opens up decently nice. It's really just a little maybe looser wound, a little more rough. Frays a lot more, I would say. Derek, if you're still in here. I mean, I don't do a whole lot of slacks, but the suicide is what I was talking about. Milk check. What's a milk check? Is that a man boob comment? Oh, I definitely dropped it, but rancid milk. I haven't done rancid milk in 7 years. Honestly, don't really do name tricks at all anymore. I believe I have raw Nessie 24 parts. Do I risk it? I don't know if that's better or worse to replace the Nebula pre-orders with more Nebulas. So what do you say? Silver isn't a color of Anno. Blue. Um, so you're saying Zipline washes their strings, or do they wash their thread before making the strings? I mean, it's definitely a. I guess we'll see how it sheds off, you say. Now, I tried all the different bearings, Alex. I think there is a possibility, and I'd never be able to confirm this, that they sat in the acid bath too long at the anodizer. And what the acid bath or the prep bath does is prepares the aluminum to accept the dye. And if they're in there too long or the temperature is wrong, I forget the temperature part. Um, Blue, gray can't be washed. I'm gonna let you read that post again. um, but if they sit in that tank too long, it can eat away part of the material. That or the buildup on the nebula just wasn't as much as the other ones to get the. But the seats aren't loose where the bearing will fall off. They're a good size. They're just not tight to actually have to shove that bearing on. So I'm not fully sure. I think maybe what makes sense to me right now is that batch of parts was sat in the prep bath for too long. I'll actually just ask him right now. We'll see. He'll probably text me back pretty quick. Yeah, blue. All the colors are listed, and then it just specifically says gray can't be washed. There's a couple other colors, but I forget what they were. I haven't done a good job of keeping up my notes for what hasn't worked and what does work when people try it for the first time. All right, so I don't know, damage control or not. He said they were the same time in the tank as the others. Have you tried the others? Dye does not affect the layer thickness. So it wouldn't be the colorway choices, and they were in the tank the same time as the other ones. I'm probably not going to ask Jeremy for insider trading on his strings, because I think that is like if he's washing them prior, that's like pretty great QC that you wouldn't QC might not be the right word, but a factor that you don't really expect, I think, from the string. I always thought it was material type that caused the fraying and not, but I don't know a whole lot about string making, and I don't really want to. Yeah, I'll be honest. Jeremy's descriptions of the strings are so long, I don't read them. And even when he sent me the description for the diamond blend, that was that was more than enough. Glad you admit what you want to and don't. I mean, I only like have the. You only have so much you can, right? And I don't want to get into the weeds of strings. Luckily, that's why it was so great for the diamond blend. I told Jeremy the way I like strings. He sent me samples. We adjusted to what I didn't like or did like. But we're talking about string with Derek because he sent me some samples of his string that he makes, and I was just trying it out and discussing it. Well, I'm glad you know that. I didn't read your whole message you sent me. It doesn't mean I won't. I'll get back to it. I was just letting you know today I was testing them. G Strings. Did you guys know that G Strings was an original founder of Caribou Lodge? Paul? Paul, Chris, and Levi. Levi did the painting of those peaks. They were all three the original creators. Painted peaks were so awesome. Like if somebody was good at painting, I think there would be a market for that still today. Um, like to make nicely painted yo-yos. You get them anodized, whatever you want to get them, solid black or solid clear, and then paint them. With the airbrush, give them that soft feeling, and then seal them up with some clear sealant, spray paint, whatever. It would be still, I think, a huge hit. Hey, see you, Derek. I'll have more for you later. Yeah, it definitely doesn't grind well. I don't know where mine is, but I just think that people would be absolutely willing to buy and display nicely painted and masked yo-yos. The basic peak would be nice, but if you saw any of his, like his custom ones, were incredible, and people would absolutely love to have those these days. Modern yo-yos or not. I have one that I painted, Phil. Me and Brett kind of duplicated it. Oh, it's right here. FOV of non-G2s. But I never would have found this if I didn't have an FOV. Look at these little SFs. But yeah, here's mine. Painted peak. This was the only mistake. I wish I don't know if it wore off or if I forget if I tried to take it off. If you remember the originals, they had like Caraballage, Works Peak, and then something else, maybe their number in there. So that didn't. I think I tried to take it off, and then that was a mistake. But if you go back and play a peak, holy cow, they suck. Alright, suck's not the right word. Because they were fine back in the day. But the nostalgia of the peak is better than the play of the peak. It'll let you know how bad of a yo-yo you are real quick. It's kind of like the soy, but like feels like 10 grams heavier. The soy lets you know real quick that you suck. What else is in here? I got some custom side effects. Check this out. Little finger spin dimple side effects. Brass and aluminum. What else we have in here? Rally, Avalanche, Narwhal, Chief. Some of the SF protos. I'll never tell, but yeah, I have SF protos for a reason. The ultimate side project you never kept going on. That's not true at all. I had nothing to do with SF. I mean, like, yeah, like actual airbrush painted afterlives would be awesome. Maybe, like, I don't really have time for another project now that I'm printing shirts too. But I could definitely set up an airbrush studio and do some. That'd be awesome. 36. I have one. I don't like it. Let me try this colored string. Do people ever get their like birthday mystery yo-yo? Wasn't that delayed or something? What up, George? How's that mustache treating you, my friend? That stinks. I mean, you only have half a month to go. You're fine. Let her know she can't control you. See you, Trevor. Hello. Hey. Oh, I mean, I understand it's part of the process. I was just kind of curious if you thought there was a reasoning. Hmm. Okay. Yep. Okay. Yeah. And it just happened to be the Nebula batch. It didn't matter the colorway. It was just that batch, you think? Yeah. So you can definitely tell the nebulas are smoother, so that makes sense. So that yeah. Well, did you like double bright dip the ones that you are currently sending me? Okay. Um well, then I would say right. Right, and I definitely noticed the mongooses are rougher. Um that so that might be part of the customs. I don't say anything when they come back not smooth because I just assume it's because I have two parts and I can't half swap. Um, but if we're double bright dipping those, that could be part of my issue too on customs that come back with a little vibe. When vibe is when I put them together, spin them if they don't spin perfectly true. So that's what I've got on these nebulas, and then I noticed that the bearing doesn't. The bearing fits like basically perfectly on the nebulas, and then tight on the other ones from that Nessie 24 batch. So the Nessie 24 batch, everything. Well, it's tight that you have to use a tool to take it off, which is ideal to keep the yo-yo perfectly smooth. Yes. Um, so yeah, so the Nessie 24, everything's good except for the nebulas. Those are all I'm not going to be able to send them out. So that's why I wanted to confirm if I should rerun them or not. So if we rerun them single bright dip, I should be okay. Yeah, yeah, fresh yo-yos, and these are just, cost of doing business, and it is what it is. It sucks, but that's life. But Do you know what grit you use? What grit do you use? Okay, because I've done different grit sizes in the past to get the no the machine shop, but I pick the grit. I've done testing for different grit and different pressure. Okay, I gotcha. Yeah. Well, I mean, yeah. So it could be okay. Um, everything that I have here except for tsunamis are bead blasted. Well, I would like to try a different grit first. Hmm. Yeah. I mean that. So I'll try that the first. Next things that I'm getting in for you, but it might be a while till I have new rolls. But I need once I get these parts back in that you double bright dipped, and then I'll confirm if it's only the Nessie issue or if we should always stay away from the double dip. Well, I've never had a full batch like so. This was specific night and day. Um, you know what I mean? The same yo-yo. It's just. Mhm. Gotcha. Yeah. Well, I mean, what you have there is done, so it's rock and roll. Did you get that first batch out? The ones you already built me? Okay, so we'll know based on that. Did you double dip those? Yeah, yep, I got you. But you know you double dipped everything you have currently. Yep, so that's a factor as well. The first the priority batch was loadouts. Yeah, cool. Well, yeah, it's going to be two just yeah, whatever it is, a thousandth of an inch. We have like 2 thousandths of an inch to play with. Um, well, I think we only need to do that as if we have to bright dip them twice. So yeah, I mean, so if we bright dip twice, you can cook longer. Yep. All right. I mean, yeah. I mean, I just there's a solution now to my problem, and it's not just the colorway. It's now we know the bright dip twice, so I have a reasoning for the issue. And it wasn't. Yep. Okay. Cool. Yep. All right, man. I appreciate you. Okay. Have a good rest of your day. See ya. I don't know if you guys could hear him or not, but we have a little bit of a solution to why the whole Nebula Nessie 24s are bad, and possible concerns that all the rest of the year's loadouts and evolutions are bad. Holy cow. So I'm kind of glad I muted it sometimes because I didn't want you guys to hear everything he was saying, but I kind of like that you got to experience part of that and hear a little bit more behind the scenes for the anodizing. Um, so basically, the nebulas were dipped twice for some extra shininess. So in the bright dip, that cleans out any imperfections in the aluminum. Specifically, usually it's for the glass after blasting. If any of the glass beads are broken and get stuck in the aluminum, it gets all of that out. So that was double dipped. So that also will decrease the bearing seat slightly, and that's what's causing the issues with those nebulas. The rest of the Nessie 24s only got dipped once, and we're good to go. Once is kind of what they're prepped, machined for. I mean, I wouldn't say it was necessarily fun, Trevor. I have some results for issues, but also the potential of some more catastrophic issues for future batches that are coming in. It also could have been, it's too late to tell now why I was having such an issue with the tsunamis. If he double dipped those, that could be issues. What up, Cody? What up, Swaff? Um, so far it seems like everything's going to be fine except for the nebulas. And from that conversation, I haven't tested this Naj yet, but from that conversation, he only double dipped the nebulas. Is none of that on him? It's kind of like a combo platter, right? Um, he's double dipped stuff in the past, and if I had issues in the past, I never said it. It sounds like he double dips customs often, so if there's vibe on customs, I was attributing it to not having halves to swap in and out. But if he's double dipping the customs, that leads to why there could be issues more often than not issues with a little bit of vibe on customs. Um, but is that money on him? I don't really have a fallback plan, right? So if I want to say, hey, you're out, you know, 10 grand for these last batches, he might just be like, hey, you know what, I can't work with you anymore. There's a, because he's also a one-man shop that does a lot of my custom work. Um, so if he could, I don't know, give me a little credit towards a one discounted run, that would be definitely helpful. And I think he might if I go the route of redoing the nebulas, if I even have enough raw parts, that might be something. But I don't necessarily think I can or should go back on him specifically for an issue that, was something that he had done in the past and I hadn't brought up because it doesn't happen until you talk about it. Yeah, kind of like that, Trevor. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, Cody, so the parts get bright dipped to get the imperfections out of the aluminum, usually broken glass from bead blasting, and get them ready to accept the ano. So he dipped some of them twice, one color specifically twice, the nebula, to hopefully make them extra bright, and that caused the bearing seat to be too small for the bearing, leading to vibe. I mean, I'm gonna be stressed about it. It's like if it was just the nebulas, it sucks. It's a hit, but it's not a huge hit. But if those next two batches he just did, like I said, the rest of the loadouts for this year, and then a lot of evolutions, if those all come back bad, that is a huge hit to the year, really. I mean, that can wipe out half a year's worth of work. So I'm trying not to stress about it until they get here and I can really know what the issue is, because there's nothing that can change about it now. But if those parts are all bad, that's a real issue. Yeah, he did the AL7 tsunami, so I think that was part of the issue is back at the original AL7 tsunamis, and I was able to get a lot of them half swapped to be good. Um, oh, write-offs. No write-offs are going to be able to save that income that was as needed. I don't know, if those AL7 tsunamis were double bright dipped, and that's why they popped so amazingly. Like, there's a certain aspect there that's sweet. But if they all would have been smooth with one bright dip, what would they have looked like then compared? But these are all issues that I don't know. We talked about it earlier in the show how G2 does things so different. If I wasn't doing it this way, like none of these issues pop up. It's all just handled for you. Container, that would be pretty cool. Like it actually screwed into the axle and then sealed with the half into the top. Because he was talking about them, they do look a little hazy, and that's why he wanted to double dip them. I kind of like the haze, especially on these Nessies. It gives the actual old Super Ball look, the original Nessie. This almost matches like that original Nessie colorway. John, we're not there yet. And I mean, it's business issues. I would not expect that from customers. Um, you figure out a way to make it work, or the alternative. I mean, I do have a backup plan. The G2 museum could be gone, but it'd look good in your guys' hands too. It's like a few months insurance. If anything goes haywire, I have that little collection in the background. I could show, actually, where is that plasma? So you guys can see here. Maybe the camera will show it. We've got the plasma berries dark in the loadout, and then the plasma berries Nessie 24. You can see the different shade, especially on that blue. Bearing seat, so that is the most common issue, and that's why you'll have so many bearing seats that are tight, and you need a tool to take them off. In theory, if you get a bearing seat plus anode dead perfect, that the bearing is snug and you can remove it off, but it doesn't fall off, that is what I would say absolutely perfect. But it almost the chances of getting that dead perfect are very small. Anything like that usually has a vibe associated with it, where tight bearing seats, you don't want it to get too tight that it pulls the ano off when you take the yo-yos apart, but you want to, if you have to use a tool, that's, in my book, tool, doesn't rip the ano off is perfect. George, did you just say I can send you a glitch nebula and you'll never know? Could you leave some material on the shaft and do a finish machining after the ano? No, so this came up on a specific project, the collab between me and Monkey Finger. Um, and they masked the bearing seat so that there was no tolerance issues and added them, and then sent them to me, and I did all the silicone and assembling and testing. But you can't have a raw bearing seat because that raw aluminum will fuse, or I think it's called galling, um, to the bearing, and it'll like fuse, like you will not be able to get the bearing off. So you have to anodize the post, or the bearing will be part of the yo-yo. And also interesting what I learned today in that conversation. It's not just the blasting, which I kind of associate it with old and new material. The haze and the chalkboard feeling you can get is when there's too much broken beads in the blast. So small pieces of glass, it causes burning issues and gives you that chalkboard feel with a little bit of the haze. Yeah, whatever Cody just said. What a learning day. What a eventful day. Because I mean, they're still not all perfect, but I'm finding halves that work. This is like the normal process that I've always had. Um, so I haven't said anything in the past because it hasn't been one color that was specifically different. So kind of lucked out, I guess, in a way that we now know the double bright dip causes the issues. So don't do it. Galvanic corrosion. I want to make that colorway. Cody, head on over to the Patreon page. For free users and paid users, you can submit a colorway. I think what we want to go with that is a dark gray base, regular gray sponge. Maybe, I don't know if you want a little black in there, or maybe black base, both gray sponges. Um, does it need a little bronze? A little bronze spongy? No, the black will do that. So then both grays need something else. Black splash? Maybe it's a bronze base, both gray sponges, black speckle. Earthy green color. Maybe it's a dark green base. I like that. Dark green base, gray, gray, black sponge. Two grays in the black sponge. Yep, that is it. Kind of be like this, but with one more in the darker colors. In the green. Yep, I like that. Peep your panhandle colorway. Well, if you said splatter, it's not going to count because splatter is not an option. Splatter is what I could call splash and speckles, probably. These snozzberries are perfect. The color that popped out, they do have that haze he was talking about. I love it. I just said splatter because you said splatter in the chat. Bass, if you win the colorway contest, it's not in the budget. It's free. Haze, it's like it's just a little. I would call it duller is another way to say it. It's not. Mm, when the non-blasted parts are so shiny, this is not quite as shiny. Um, yeah, I don't know how else to say it. I don't know, man. I'm getting too old for the standing up testing yo-yos thing. Alright, what's going on here? It's 2 in a row. A good morning. Dabs are us. I'm here after a meeting I didn't want to take either. And through that meeting. Yep, your Nebula 24 Banshee or Nessie is a trash grade. I'm kind of numb to it almost now. The reality has set in. I'm more concerned about that batch coming in. I think the whole batch of nebulas is toast. I just know that Dabs is a nebula kind of guy. The other ones have been going good. I'm having some issues with the Plasmaberry right now, but I'm not sure. They've been good until like this last couple. John, I think what my solution, and I'm not going to have enough extras probably to cover it. Is going to be allowing nebulas to transfer to a different color if they want, if there's extras on the other colors. But even if I ordered 5 extra of the 3 other colors, that's only 15. That's not going to cover how many nebulas were needed. I don't know. I need to really lay out all my actual options and figure out what's best. I mean, it's definitely a downer, but we'll see. Yeah, It's definitely like, look, one of the main things is obviously a capital issue, but to me, like disappointment of a customer is it's up there. It's rough because I operate so well, or like my whole goal, I guess, is a great customer experience. Um, so that you enjoy the experience and you come back to G2 again. It only takes really one bad experience and you might be done with a brand. So, that's a outside of the I mean, it's not direct the way that the bad run directly affects your capital and is a bad month for you and whatever. Um, a the bad customer relation could cost you revenue in the future. John, I think the whole Nebula batch is going to be bad. I didn't have one pass. Didn't like the 20 I tested. Well, we grinding, Phil. Do I have a favorite snaz? Of the ones I have, I can probably give you an answer. The B-22 is pretty great. AL-7 Tsunami is pretty great. I'd probably take the B-22 just because of the lighter splash. Triton was really good the way the wash hit. But these are going to be up there because I like this is like the original snaz that had kind of an old Super Ball look. Not quite as vibrant, and then the blue on these is exactly what I was looking for. Yeah, I got to shave again. It's starting to have a little beard there. Christmas season at George's house. Have to see what Phil wants to make. Rippers are going in the Nessie 24. At least I hope that's what I put in the pre-order. That's what I'm putting in them. Team is almost at 2K. What does that mean, Trevor? You have 2,000 people working for you? Oh, money raise. Yeah, I was it Pringles time yet? There's a little bit of masking stuck on this guy. Acetone kind of burns my fingers. I like the ceramic sound blue. I don't think you really get you're not going to get much of any performance difference. Alright, so that one can't be sold. One full nebula frame. I mean, there's definitely some cool things you can do with the trash parts for art, and a lot of things I haven't thought about. At some point, it comes down to a time thing for me. Like, focus on being the best at something, not average at a bunch of things. Like, I do think we have now by far the best accessories to go with yo-yos, like the bearings, the display cases, the FOVs. Um, it's a little slow to get out there because I'm not a main shop. Like, people aren't going there for outside of yo-yos, but I think once the word gets out more and more, that'll be good. I mean, there's some. Cody's idea is really cool to use the parts as the lid for something. I mean, by the time I buy the frame and everything, like the it's hard to sell something for so that much. There we go. Nope. You vote Triton. Oh, for Snaz? I think I'm going with this Nessie 24 or the B22. I think it was AL7. Does that mean you're extra busy, George? You got to pick up his slack? Are you kidding me? So the last smooth one I had a masking issue. This one I think has a ding in it. Finally got it smooth parts. It's either a ding or there's a piece of masking somewhere. Shake up in the hierarchy? Is that good or bad for you? We wanted a raise for Big Poppy. Matt, I'm going to compare these Nessie 24s and that Trident for you in a second. I think I'm taking Nessie 24. Trident is so nice. The color match on these two is really good, but the blue is just better on the Nessie 24. But they both have that old school coloring. But the splash is better on the Nessie 24. Peep the shirt. And the nip. Alright, I gotta sit. What's good, guys? About lunchtime. What are we having today? I think I'm having... What am I having? My fingers also hurt from putting in pads. Now my back's gonna hurt because I just pulled landscaping duty. But the tip of my thumb goes raw when I pushing in the pads and circling around. Especially the G20s if I do a lot of them, because they're wider than the G19s. More surface area, ripping and gripping. Yeah, we're all mature adults here, George. Except for you that has bad taste in colorways. Did you guys all fill in G2s for the best of the 2024? Yo-Yo Expert thread? Thanks. Shouldn't be a real contest. The contest is that I'm not sold in Yo-Yo Expert, so that makes it tough. 8 a.m. I had scrambled egg sandwich for breakfast. I feel like I've already went through a whole day. Chicken teriyaki. A white monster for breakfast. I mean, I didn't want to get into your personal lifestyle choices, but and George said his wife wasn't given any. Wasn't expecting such a quick turn. I'm a child. I do like the sugar-free white monsters. I haven't had one in a while. I think Red Bull's still my favorite. Some of those colored ones are great. I'm probably gonna go get one today. Cavs are no longer undefeated. How about that game last night? What were I like Phil? I don't even remember. I remember we had the hot dog eating contest the day after. Um, what were we doing while testing the OCs? Did I get you guys dinner? I think I got you guys Arby's. Because it was me, you, Thomas, Josh, and PJ. Chef PJ in the house. What were we streaming on? Instagram those days? I don't remember having brews just because I don't even... When was that? Like 2017 or something? Tom, you, Josh, PJ. It was more than that? Yeah, we did. The good old days. Content grind. Still on that content grind. Content is king. Brett. Brett definitely wasn't there from original G2. Brent. He was doing kendama tricks and assembling. I got nothing, man. Did he come with Tom? I feel bad. OCs we only had to test, right? Because I just paid for those to be pre-assembled. That was kind of like a weird yo-yo. Hmm. Yep, no idea who else would have been there. That was nice labor. I gave you guys a yo-yo and dinner. Alright, fellas, I gotta get to picking up Oakland from preschool. Thanks for tuning in the stream. Hopefully my next batches of yo-yos are not ruined from the double bright dip. If they are, whew, catch me and Donald at the drive-thru.